Hello people. Well, it's been a while since I put a video up. I guess the last time you seen the car was uh oh, I had the engine out and all taken apart, and I showed you what I found with the rings being weak and cam lobe starting to go flat and all that. So um unfortunately for people who wanted it, I didn't really record anything during the building process. I had to thrash on it. I spent 70 hours on it in about 10 days to get this thing. I had to get it done. So whenever I was doing stuff or about done doing something, then I'd realize, man, I should have filmed this, but it was too late, and I sure as hell wasn't taking things back apart to show it. I just didn't have time. I had to get it done for that weekend, the points race thing. So didn't get any videos up. So got it all back together. Kind of ended up having a problem. I put a comp cam in it and I ordered the comp lifters with it. Well, the lifters, I got them and they weren't usable. They had, if I can find a picture, I'll throw a picture up in here. The lifters had nicks in the face of them, and on the edges they were terrible. So luckily, a good buddy had a set of NOS Mopar lifters, and I bought those from him, and so I was able to use them on the comp cam. But anyway, so Saturday night ended up pretty good. I ran 2 classes, ET class, and then I ran sportsman class, which you have to run 740 or slower. You can't run quicker than 740. And I won that class, which was amazing. That was awesome. I haven't won in a long time. That felt good. ET class, I made it to 4th round. So I did good, in that respect. I had a really good night. The bad part of it is the car was just so inconsistent. It's just unbelievable how it's weird how the last few times I've won over the last couple years, it's always when the car or me's reaction time or whatever, the car has been the absolute worst. I don't understand it. And times when the cars ran all night within 200s, I lose. When it runs great, I lose all the time. But anyway, so I guess I don't really know how I'm going to show this. I ran 13 runs that night altogether. I'm not going to show all 13 of them. I'll show maybe like the first test run I ran, first couple maybe, I don't know. I'll show you a couple little things, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit with how it ran inconsistently, the 60-foot times and stuff like that. But anyway, so alright, I guess we'll get to it and I'll show you that stuff, and I'll try and make this as quick as possible. It's hard to go through stuff and explain things and have a short video. It's kind of impossible to do it, at least for me. So it's going to be a little longer. So all the 10 people that usually watch my videos, hopefully you'll stay to watch this. Alright. So I guess the first thing I'll kind of go over is this was, okay, on 7-1, 2 weeks ago, when I did the compression test on it, these are all cold, but, see, this is the one when I found that cylinder was way down on cranking compression. See, a year ago, this is what it was. A little over a year ago. And then, the rest of them ain't too far off, but that one was way down, and that's why I did the leak down test. And this one here is with this new cam. This was 722 when I checked the cranking compression. So it's down, it's from what the old cam was. The old cam had a faster ramp rate on the lobe, so I don't know if that's what's different, because the size of the cam is really not that much different. I do have, it's actually, let's see, it's actually a little bigger cam. is it's a 370 low lift. I have actual 563 lift at the valve. That's with lash. You know, if you take out the lash in it, would be zero lash, it would be 579, 580. But with the lash, I've got 563 actual lift. The old cam actual lift at the valve, I only had about 519 or 520. So I got quite a bit more lift. And the duration is, with the old cam, is like 259, 260. This one is 262 at 50. This one, the LSA, is 110, where the old one was 108. So it's a little bigger cam, but it doesn't ramp up as fast on the lobes. So anyway, and this was the leak down test I did 2 weeks ago, and see, I had 8%, 899. This one was 40% down. This one was down a little bit, 13. And this is what it was this last December when I checked it: 2%, 4, 1, 2, 4, 4, 3. And then after I got the new, this was just last week, after I rebuilt the engine, new rings and all that, it was back to, about where it should be. Actually, the worst one is now the best. But anyway, so that was that part of it. So this cam doesn't have as much cranking compression as the old cam did. Don't know why. I guess it has to do with opening, and closing and all that. But anyway, all right, here we get to the runs. All right, first run off the trailer was, let's see, got the wrong page here. So first run off the trailer was a 733.66 with a 156.73 60 foot. Not great. I wasn't really happy with that, but first run off the trailer. I guess I should let me state first here what is all different this time than from the last time I ran this car, like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, whatever it's been now. The difference is the engine's rebuilt and fresh. New rings and bearings. It's tight. New, tight, fresh engine. It's got a new cam, different specs. It's close, but it's different. Alright, now I've got 60 to 65 more pounds on the car this time because I have the exhaust on it, passenger seats in it, and also I'm running the air cleaner this time. And one other thing, I've got the old rebuilt dynamic converter in it. So the last time I ran it, I had the 8-inch converter in it. So that's the big differences, which is a lot of differences. So it ran, if you take my ET runs from the ET class where I didn't have to try and slow the car down, the ET runs, that's sportsman, so ET, if you take all these ET runs and compare them to the last time I ran before I rebuilt the engine, it did run about 400s faster than it did, and that's with more weight on it through the air cleaner and different camshaft. But it's still slower than it should be, but I think that has a lot to do with it. This engine's tight and fresh, and it's going to take a little bit to get broke in. But okay, anyway, so that first run off the trailer, I wasn't really happy with that, but okay. One other thing is the mile per hour is way down, but that's also could be part of, everything else. So what I tried to do was, whatever I shifted at here was actually 6,300 and 6,200. I set my shift light at 6,300, but like I said here, I'm sorry, I had it set at 6,200. So my first to second shift on the tech, and this is what actually it shifted at. Like I set my shift light at whatever RPM I set the shift light at, first to second, it usually goes up another 100 RPM or so before it shifts. Second to third don't do that, but first to second always has. Always. Anyway, so I shifted at 63 and 62. Ran 733. Alright, so then the second round was a sportsman class, so what I tried to do was I have to run under 740 for this class, 740 or slower. So what I tried to do was shift it a little bit less. Well, the first one I messed up on, and I forgot to shift it. I dropped my shift light down to 5900. But I forgot. I just was, dreaming or whatever and let it. So it went to 60, still went to 63 in first and second, but I shifted at 5900 and it slowed down to 38. Okay. Number 8 is the worst, is the weirdest one, because this one is this one here had the best 60 foot of the night, 155.18, and ran the best run of the night, 731.65, still only 92.5 mile an hour. But so that's the thing. The car ran very inconsistent. What I'm gonna do next week is I'm going to run the car. There's 2 more sportsman points classes, August 3rd and August 17th. So what I'm gonna do, I'm not gonna run 2 classes. I'm just gonna run that class. And try to run it every run the same as possible, so I'm not changing stuff up. Run it the same as possible, shifting everything, I might even put my street tires on the front instead of my drag tires, because it's 40 more pounds and that'll help slow it down a little bit for that. But I'm gonna do that for the 3rd and the 17th. I'm not going to run any other classes. Then after the 17th, which is the end of the points for that, I don't have to worry about it until October at the World Finals thing. After the 17th of this next August, then I can open it back up. I'm going to set it up just like it was previous. No exhaust, just header pipes on it. Take the passenger seat out and try it without air cleaner. I really don't want to, but I'm going to try it and just see what kind of difference that makes on how it runs. This last week running to previous weeks, there's too much different. I can't really compare it that well. It should be running quicker than it is, but it's just kind of this. I'm just going to have to kind of start over with it. Didn't have much time between rounds. The car was never really cooling off. Like normal, when I only run 1 class, there's quite a bit of time between there where the car cools off. And it wasn't that night. The rounds were halfway quick. There was a couple you had a little longer wait for something, but for the most part, it was quick, and it was super humid. The DA was going down as the night went on, but the humidity was going up. Them last 2 or 3 runs I ran, it was like between, I know that one time it was 93% humidity, so the humidity was way up. So that had a lot to do with it too. It's hard to breathe water, So anyway, well, this is an update, and I thought I'd just put it out there. I know the last few videos there ain't many people been watching, so, but for the few people that do, I thought I'd put this out and kind of go over this. I'll try and do more videos with the car at the track this next week. and I'll throw up some shorts probably of these runs. But anyway, I just wanted to put this out and explain kind of what happened with everything and how it ran and what the plans are. So, all right, thanks for watching. We'll see you.